All right, welcome back to the TO Show. We got another episode here. I appreciate everyone's efforts to retweet and listen to the podcast. And from the first episode, I appreciate everyone who reposted, listened, and is following the podcast. Really means a lot to me. And let's get this thing rolling. So, second episode here. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Playmaker, Karl Mofor. How you doing, Karl? What's going on, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. So, how you been so far with this weird COVID schedule with camp and stuff? How's shaping up with classes and whatnot?
Hey, just like anybody else, I've been just trying to get used to it, trying to get myself in a rhythm, trying to figure out my schedule when I can do my online classes, when I have to relax, do schoolwork, and just when I have to be here for football. And it's been a new getting used to since I just recently started my grad classes. So I didn't have one every Tuesday after practice. So I've just been getting used to stuff. It's been good though.
That's good. That's good. What's the difference? Have you noticed a big difference in the jump from the undergrad to the classes now? What is this, your first semester taking grad classes? What have you noticed? I know it's only been a little short week or a couple weeks. What have you noticed in the difference in that?
So far, mainly is just the amount of readings you have to do, and it's just really just more in-depth concept of what you learned in your undergrad. So I've noticed that.
Okay, yeah. So what's your undergrad, and what are you going for grad school for? What's your major, and what are you going for now?
So my undergrad was in cybersecurity, and my minor was in informatics, and now my grad school program is emergency preparedness. So dealing with like FEMA, emergency relief and response and stuff like that.
That's sweet. So kind of like the medics field, like the ambulances and fire team and stuff like a police force and all that stuff. Is that something you're really into?
Yeah, like first responders and just like figuring out how to like prevent disasters from happening and like what happens when they do happen. And like how to get everybody back like on track.
Is that some field? Of course you're a great player and whatnot, and I think you got big stuff hopefully at the next level. But is that something you're looking good into? Is the kind of the first responding field and stuff like that? Is that something you're really interested into?
Yeah, most definitely. Like my whole life, I found myself as like somebody who likes to help people and like just help people like get on the right track or stay on the right track. And then that just felt when I got to college, like I switched my major to cybersecurity. And then chose to do my graduate program in emergency preparedness. It's just something that's always interested me in doing, like even after football. So I'm not looking to.
Yeah. So is there any specific kind of like, or is it just kind of just like, hey, this is the field I want to go in? Maybe have a couple of job interviews and figure out, hey, this is something I like, this is something I don't like, or whatnot. Is that something you're interested in? Is there a set something, or is it you're just kind of open to just that first responding field?
There's no set job for me right now, and now I'm just trying to figure it out, see what I like in that.
So going on off that. So you grew up in Baltimore, right? Around the Baltimore area.
Yeah, PG County, Maryland.
PG County. Okay,
like 20 minutes from Baltimore, 20 minutes from DC.
Okay, gotcha. So you're kind of smack dab right in the middle. Of,
yeah,
a little best of both worlds. Best of both worlds there. What was it like? Is living there? Has that been a big impact to you wanting to be in that first responding? Because I know I've seen the Baltimore and DC area, and the crime rate has gone up and stuff like that, and they need people like you to help those communities and whatnot. Is that something growing up? Is that something you've been kind of oh man, I want to do something like that. I want to help out my community and do stuff like that. Is that something is that why you're looking into stuff like that?
Not ideally, but like just being in the region where you are, like the DC region, and having like all the agencies there, like going like on like museums and stuff that's there, going on field trips in DC area, just seeing like how everything seems so important, and that may be one of the reasons why like I ventured off into that field, but not that exact reason, but like that does, like now that I think about it, that does like that it would be like helpful moving forward.
Yeah, I mean that's big, helping out your community, especially helping with your growing up. So growing up in that area, how was it? What's a little about yourself? What about your story? What was it like, growing up there? What's your story? What led you, to come to Ualbany?
So actually, I was born in Cameroon, West Africa, and I moved here when I was about like 4 of my family, and I grew up in an apartment complex in Laurel, Maryland, and then I moved to where I live now in the townhouse, like on the other side of town. Like growing up there, it was a good experience. Like it's PG County. That's one of the that's the richest black county in America. So it's mainly primarily minorities. So people that look like me, and just growing up in that area, it's like it's close knit. It is a lot of violence, as you said, but it's like we all have a good understanding of each other. I feel like, and it's just a good community to raise your children in. You definitely see some things that you gotta look past, or like some things that you seen you really just turn the eye to sometimes. But it's like a lot of the things, like the way I grew up, it just made me who I am. Just always to be alert, responsible, protect yourself, protect your brother, just simple stuff like that that other people don't sometimes go through. Like I learned early at an early age that like it's really real life out here sometimes. So you gotta do what's best for you.
Yeah, that's always good. I think it's always good to get people, it might be too soon, but almost it's a good idea is that, here's what my world looks like, and here's what actually like the real life, and get those real life experiences and get to know, hey man, the real world's a scary place out there. It's not a sunshines and rainbows and stuff like that. So throughout high school, and we'll talk a little bit about the recruiting process, just touch on it a little bit. Is that were you highly recruited out of high school, or is it? How did you get to Ualbany? How was you grew up, you went to high school? How did you decide to end up in going to Albany?
Actually, I was a little bit heavily recruited. I think I was under recruited a little bit. That my recruitment ended senior year because I committed to Albany before the season started senior year, so like I didn't have to worry about it, have a secure offer, because you know how college football is with offers just there one day, gone the next. Exactly. So I kind of wanted to commit myself to a good school that I like very much at that point. But like I started picking up offers about junior year. The summer I went to a couple camps like Morgan State, some local camps, Morgan State, Towson camps, and I went to a bunch of satellite camps. I had a lot of interest from bigger schools, but nobody really threw that solid offer. I had like a Buffalo, Syracuse type offers that came out at me, but nobody threw that solid one about until junior year. Buffalo was the first school to offer me a full scholarship. So my recruiting, it was interesting. I liked it. I liked the process of it, but it was also got stressful sometimes. It's like, dang, like what can I even do more to get my name out there, get a better shot? But I just had to stay patient and work, and then that's what led me here to Albany. My high school coach actually played under Coach Cattuso and Coach Joe B at Duquesne, so I had that connection there with them from that, and they just always like they know about athletes from where I'm from, like how we move and how we like conduct ourselves, like how we can play on the field. So that connection was good and strong between us.
That's good. Was another driving factor? Did you know coming out of high school you wanted to be in the first responder group, or is it just kind of just that knowing that your head coach played under Coach G and he knew what it was like and he could tell you a little bit about what it was like playing under Coach Cattuso? Was that a strive, a big thing at all? Because I know our cybersecurity and just like that part of the school here is top notch. One of the best in the country. Is that a driving factor to that?
Yeah, I did see that the program here was good at that, but what mainly drew me, like I knew that everything was shifting to like cyber crime and like feels like that. So my major was informatics, which is like information technology. I knew that's what the world was changing into, so I decided to go into that. And then after I changed my major to cybersecurity, because that's also a good field for now, especially with the pandemic and everything going on, all the cyber crimes and like hacks that go on and like just securing like your data and stuff. I switched it over to that, and I just know that's a field that's like will grow for the next how many years, and I just know that's always a job in that field.
I think that field has expanded from the last 10 years. I mean, even the last 40 years, but even just in this past 10 years, how crazy technology has improved, and that will be with you've seen it in the elections and stuff like that, where China and Russia is trying to hack into our elections and stuff like that. So we need more people like you in that field to be able to help out with this stuff like that. So let's switch gears. We talk about Ualbany. Is like, so I'm pretty sure the story was right, is that you came in as a freshman. EB tore his ACL. Was it first, second? What was it?
He tore his ACL the season before I got there, but the last game of the season.
Okay, so it was the last game of the season. And so pretty much as a freshman, you kind of just got thrown into, the starting role and being able to do that. How were you able, as a true freshman, able to, be able to be so successful, just being thrown in as a true freshman? There's only a small percentage of actually true freshmen that actually get to play, and you thrived. What was there any sort of thing you did, or a mindset or anything like that, coming in as a true freshman?
My mindset just coming in was just like basically is me versus me here, and there's nothing the defense can do to hinder anything I'm doing. Like offensively, like Coach Davis said all the time, like nobody can stop us but us. And my mindset was just like I'm coming out here every day. I'm not caring about how older the guys in front of me are, how more experienced. I'm just gonna play 100% every play. Like once you do that, like it doesn't matter whether you're a freshman or senior. Once you do that, I feel like you have the chance to have success early in your career, late in your career. It doesn't matter. Like if you go out there with the mindset that like you know what you're doing and you trust yourself, then it should be good.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for any freshmen coming in, and not necessarily just at UAlbany, but just everyone? It's a COVID year and it's a little different. Mm-hmm. But anybody coming, they're going to be here in about 3 or 4 months. They're going to start reporting in June and stuff. For their summer, the first year of actual football. Do you have any advice? You're a senior, and looking back, was there anything like you saw that you did as a freshman that might help somebody else out in that aspect?
My only advice is just don't be scared coming in, and just take as much information as you can from the older guys because they know best. Like don't come in thinking you know too much. Don't come in thinking you're the best freshman ever. Like don't come in with that mindset, and don't come in with the mindset also that you're going against better competition, people who are older, bigger, faster, stronger. Don't come in already defeated. Just know that like you're here for a reason. And like every time you get on the field, just know what you're doing. First and foremost, that'll help you a lot. Know what you're doing, know the reads you have to make, know the plays, and that will simplify the game for you.
I think that's important. Is that how are you able, as a running back, how are you able to, I know it was a little different offense, but freshman year, how were you able to really, dive into that playbook? Was there any sort of thing as a running back you were able to do to, as a true freshman, come in and still be able to get in the playbook and know what you're doing at a high level?
I think it helped me having 2 seniors ahead of me with EB and KJ. They really helped me learn the offense, and then just understanding the concepts of the runs. It's like a few base concepts we have to run. Like you run your powers, your inside zones, your outside stretches, just really understanding those and knowing like when that play is called, what is your first initial read on those, and that'll just make it so much easier for you. Just simplifying yourself.
I think sometimes people get in and get too complex and start thinking about all these other things, and simplifying it and being able to say, hey, here's what I got to do, and worry about me, and know what you're doing. I think that's very important. So Karl, so we were locker buddies at one point. Like this past year, we got broken up. That was always nice to have you in the locker room. And let's talk about a little bit about your leadership. You've pretty much been a leader ever since I've been here, since your sophomore year. What's your approach to leadership? There's different ways to lead, and I know how you lead, but just for the podcast and the viewers' sake, what's one thing you've taken, being a leader on this team pretty much for three, going to be 4 years here, is what's one thing you've taken for being in that leadership role? Go ahead.
I think I can give you a couple of things here. Like one of the things I've really learned, like you can't lead without being able to listen. Like you have to be able to listen to the feedback, whether that's from the coaches, players, like what like the standard for the program. You just have to know that, and like every day you have to bring that. You can't just be a leader some days. You can't take any off days of being a leader. Like that's just something that you have to do regardless of your mood, regardless of how you feel, like how your body feels. You have to be a leader because somebody's always watching you, whether somebody younger or older. Somebody's always looking at you. Like somebody messes up, they're going to look at you to see, oh, what happened? Like they're going to look at you to just say something, and just say as a leader, man, you just have to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. And basically that's it for real.
Okay, so let's go back. Since we got moved off, I was a little mad, but
Yeah.
we got moved off the block on the corner of the locker room. You got switched to the other side. How have you been able to transition that? You moved from one side of the locker room to the other side of the locker room. Are you okay? First of all, are you okay? Are you okay? But second of all, how have you been able to deal with that, man? Like, I mean, we all have niches and we all hang out in the locker room, but I know it's kind of a funny question, but it's kind of serious. It's like, has it made anything different for you? It's still changed, but how have you been able to deal with that and whatnot?
Yeah, first they did us crazy and moved our lockers right in front of the door, like when you first walk into the locker room. So it's like, man, we look like we security the locker room. So I actually love that spot back there in the corner because that was our own little safe space for real, like away from all the madness, like right on the block at the end of it. I've been able to transition a little bit because I can see the clock. I can see the clock in the locker room, so I know how much time I have to get out for practice and stuff. I'm right there, so everybody's saying what's up when I get in. It's just like I gotta say what's up to people now and everything. So I think I've been straight, and then they moved you over to the 3. I'm like, dang, they took my dog over there. So at least you got back on the block.
I know. I was still close.
Yeah.
At least they didn't keep you, on the other side, and then move me all the way back over, so we never being able to see each other. I mean, I remember what I enjoyed most is just most at practice. Sometimes it's just being able to talk to you as a leader and knowing, I saw how much success you had, and just me coming in as a freshman, just asking questions and whatnot. You really helped me out in my first year, just being able to, and move on to my second and third year into a leadership role, and really helped me grow in that aspect. Not necessarily just on the field, but off the field with, just talking about stuff in the locker room and whatnot. And so I really appreciate it, man. I don't know how many guys you probably made a bunch of impact. I know on the running back room, but necessarily on the offensive side of offensive side of the ball is made a big impact. Being a leader and whatnot, and I think that's really important. As you're doing. So, let's go into. So you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, right? Coming from the Baltimore area. How did you feel this about this season, about Lamar and the loss of the Bills and whatnot? How did you feel about that?
It was definitely a little tough season for us because after we got our revenge back from the Titans, it looked like they felt like the job was done. But we went into Buffalo, didn't perform the best. People were giving Lamar a lot of heat, but like that position, that's something that like it takes years for some people to get it. And like Lamar has it, is just that sometimes in the playoffs, teams get way more time to scheme you up and run their best defense and throw everything they have at you. But he's still a good player and everything. Like, they'll bounce back.
Are you excited for this upcoming season? Are you excited? What are your hopes as a Ravens fan? I'm guessing a Super Bowl or bust, but a little bit. But what has been your take? Seeing Lamar grow. What's been your take about the Ravens so far? I've seen you posting stuff on Twitter, so I clearly see you're somewhat invested in the Ravens. So what have you seen Lamar and just the Ravens? How have you been able to see them grow? And
it was a whole little different like culture change. We're going from Joe Flacco to Lamar, like just the swagger of the team changing and everything, different offense. But I'm just trying to see Lamar take that next step. I want to see him get a ring, honestly. Whether I'm there with him getting a ring or he's getting a ring by himself, I'm just trying to see him get a ring.
So if that is that the team that you would, if they came and called you, and if you were not drafted and they called you and they said, hey Karl, we'd love to have you come play, is that would be something you'd just be like, I don't care how much it is, whatever it is, like I'm coming to play. Is that the team that you'd want to play for?
Yeah, that's probably one of the teams I want to play for. Just the proximity, like growing up a lifetime Ravens fan, like that'd definitely be cool. But any team come calling, I'm pulling up.
Okay, I feel you. So have you ever thought about the next level, or are you more just focused on what's in front of us with the team? I mean, you got to at least think with your success over the past going to be 4 years, you at least got to be in your back of your mind about the next level, because I personally think you're one of the best running backs I've ever seen in my entire life.
Appreciate
plowing guys literally just plowing guys over. I've never seen just about one person tackle you. Has that been something in your back of your mind you've been kind of thinking about, or is it kind of just been a reality and it's kind of just happened for you?
As like the years moved along, I was just like one season at a time. Let me just be the best person I can be. But like after last year, I saw that like dang, like I can actually really do this, and just like took a step closer to getting to that goal. Like that's always been a lifetime goal of mine, make it to the NFL, because like this is something we put in so much time in from being young till now. Like not even just me, my family, friends, everybody around me, so much support. That's just like the light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people. But like I'm grateful for where I've gotten, like where football has taken me to this point. Free education, free degree, about to be 2 free degrees. So like I'm just happy for that. But yeah, at the end of the day, like there always is a bigger goal, but I can't get to that bigger goal without handling my business here and doing what we have to do here as a team and as a player. So most definitely that's always in the back of my mind. But I already know day by day I just gotta get better as a person so I can help this team, and helping this team will definitely help me to get where I need to go to as well.
Yeah. So going back also to that is, have you like with this COVID year, has there been any doubts in your mind like, hey, like maybe it's just best for me and my family to move on and do whatever? Is you've always just, hey, I'm just going to stick it out until I'm done playing, and then whatever happens from there happens. Is that something you thought about over the summertime and whatnot, especially when our season got canceled and whatnot?
Yeah.
Was that something you thought about, or is it just like, hey, I'm just going to stick it out till I'm done playing? Here we're not eligibility.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of thoughts going through my head. Like when the season was canceled, like I had talks with Coach Katuso, had talks with my family, my high school coaches, uh, other people, just about like what's the next step. Like whether it's all right, man, our season was supposed to be in the fall. Like let me just call it quits in college and then go on to the next level. See where that can take me. Let me explore the portal. Like there's a bunch of thoughts in my head, but like at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion that this would probably be my best choice, sticking it out here, like staying my course and just focus on what I need to focus on, and like just taking that next step and trying to get a conference championship. Like that's really one of the main reasons I came back here at Albany, like to finish something I started. Like when I came here as a freshman, we went 3-8, and then we went 4-9 and 3-8. Like this come so far from then. So like I'm just really trying to see us get a conference championship, hopefully a national championship.
Yeah. So from you coming in as a freshman year, and we had the success last year. Have you you were one of the main reasons we were able had so much success have you seen a culture change, a team change over those past 4 years that you've been here, or do you has it been a culture? What do you think is the difference between those 3-9, was it 4-7 or 4-8, whatever it was, teams to the success we had last year? What did you notice the most in our team compared to those other teams we had?
I've seen like a team like that's just coming together to do the right thing from top to bottom. Like coming in freshman year, like I know a lot of people in our class, like we were hearing the older guys talking, we were just looking at them like shooing them off. It's like we don't want to hear you guys talk. But like now I see a team where it's like somebody talks, everybody's echoing that same thing. Everybody's on the same page. Like there's no like animosity on the team. Like it's respect amongst each other and respect amongst the leadership. Like that's what it really takes. Like for leadership to be able to be like that coach in the locker room, on and off the field, that really takes a huge step into everybody doing what's right, holding each other accountable, and being a better football team.
Yeah, I at least I noticed from at least my freshman year compared to last year, true freshman year compared to last year, was I could just tell how much closer everyone was, and how much I think you guys as the leaders last year did a phenomenal job being able to get all the stragglers out there that wanted to do whatever they wanted to do and bring them in, and we were all kind of just there as a team and being able to do stuff. And I think you were a big part of that, for the most part, is especially on the offensive side, is especially dealing with Jeff as a redshirt freshman, being able to kind of just grab him into the leadership, kind of take him under your arm a little bit and help him out and take the load off him, by just pounding the ball with that. So going back is so you grew up. I didn't know this about you. You grew up in so where is it in Africa?
Cameroon.
Cameroon.
Yeah.
So do you remember anything at that age? Or do you have any memories about stuff
I got
like that?
vague memories. Just mainly being in the house. Like I started school too. Like you could start school there, like pretty young age. Like I started school a little bit. But yeah, I just remember it, like mainly just being around family because a lot of my family is still there. Like my grandparents, that's where they were, and like all my uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody was there. Like I just remember good memories. And I went back in middle school, and it was a good experience there. It's a whole way different than here. It's a lot more like everybody's like outside doing stuff. Like it was a whole different experience.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you, besides the middle school, have you ever been able to go back? Are you planning on going back
Yeah,
out?
I'm trying to go back sometime, either not this year or next year, depending on how like COVID clears up and like the traveling. Man, definitely trying to go back there.
That sounds like a sweet experience to go. Like, I just feel like everyone who goes to Africa comes back. They got a different perspective on life because of. I feel like they cherish. I feel like around here we take stuff for granted. They don't have like the stuff that we have. They're not all technologically advanced and whatnot. They don't take stuff for granted. Do you think going over there middle school, you had a little bit of a change of mindset from being like, hey, like, and it's completely different than what I actually have here. Was that a mindset change at all that helped you propelled yourself to where you're at today?
Yeah, like the just the small things that we take for granted, like stuff, even like hot showers, going back there, having a shower, sometimes boiling the water actually before you get in the shower, like on a bucket, like using limited amount of water, and it's not even like everybody there. Not everybody that like my family there is like pretty well off too, but it's like some of the small things and luxuries that like I have at home, just like indoor plumbing sometimes, like going back there, it's like, dang, not everybody really has this stuff. Not everybody can just get on the phone and search something, regardless of like how much money you have there. Just some basic necessities of like we think in life that are everywhere, like even highways and how we drive. Just like it's different getting around. Like the public transportation is not always the best. So just small things like that just made me like think like, dang, like life isn't like you never know at any point in your life like when it could change. So I've cherished a little like smaller things like that too.
What did your grandparents do? What is it? What were they? What was their job, or how did they make money? What did they do to do that?
I don't know. Like I don't know that much about what they were doing, but like I know that my grandparents, like my mother's uh my mother's dad, like he basically just he like they worked a farm, so like they just sold the stuff they grew and basically made money like that.
It sounds like a tough life, especially out there. I mean, now with farming, I mean, it's still a tough job, but not having all the tools, you're pretty much, from the 1800s, pretty much having
Yeah.
same tools and growing twice as amount with little amounts is with that. So going back to Baltimore, so you what do you think they should to do to improve the team in the draft or the off season here, signing somebody? What are you thinking? What do you think Baltimore should do here? What's your prediction, or what's your plan to hopefully get that ring?
I think they could improve, getting Lamar like a not better receivers, but like not better receivers actually. Like he needs more targets, and like I think they need to change that offense up a little bit. Like let Lamar really show his arm talent instead of just like putting him in that small box.
Yeah, I think so
sometimes.
too. I wonder if they're going to go out and try to trade for somebody, or I'm curious to see because they're in the back half of the draft. Is that maybe they'll pick somebody up in the second or third round because there's plenty of guys who like Claypool this past year. Juju was a second round pick.
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys like Justin Jefferson too, or it was the end of the first round. But getting the pass catcher, I think, is important. I got Mark Andrews. He's up for is he contract or he got signed?
I think he got re-signed.
He got re-signed, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with there on the offense. Do you think the defense, do you think that they need to make some changes with any safety help or some pass rushers or anything like that?
I think
with that,
a couple of I think maybe Judon, somebody's contract is up. I think they need to get another pass rusher and like another outside corner, so Marcus Peters and Humphries can stay in the slot for real, and like maybe another safety over top.
Yeah, do you think that would be set? What do you think? What are your thoughts on Coach Harbaugh? He's been there forever, and what pretty much ever since we were pretty much born. What are your thoughts on him? Do you like him as a leader, a coach, and whatnot? Because he's done some phenomenal stuff for Baltimore. What are your thoughts about him?
He's definitely a coach that like I definitely want to play for. Like he really looks like he's for the guys. Like he did everything in his best interest to help the team. Like anything you need, like it look like he got you. So that's definitely like a good coach. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like him and I feel like Harbaugh in Michigan, he gets crap for not doing his job, which I feel like Michigan's just they run into like a friggin' freight train on Ohio State and whatnot. And so it's hard for them to being able to. I think ever since like about Charles Woodson and Desmond Howard, they haven't really been not a very good team. But had some good NFL players, but not the best. Do you have a favorite college team at all? Did you have a favorite?
Growing up, my favorite college team was West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, well, I really started liking them when they had Pat White, Noah Devine, Steve Slayton, and then Tavon Austin came, Geno Smith, Stemon Bailey, those guys, Carl Joseph. I was a good West Virginia fan.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on? They've been ever since Holgerson left for Houston.
Yeah,
they haven't been very good.
They've been that Big 12 little circle that they just like scoring points, and I really cared too much about winning the game.
I think almost like one of the little FBS teams almost beat them. I think
this
past year or something like that. What was it like? Of course you're Ravens, but watching football, this past fall, we don't usually get to watch all that football. Were you able to pick up on stuff of people, watching running backs or other teams watch certain plays? Were you able to pick up on a lot of stuff over this past fall, just watching football every weekend?
I would say I picked up on a lot of mistakes people were doing. Like I'm just looking like, dang, like if I was running that ball, like I would just make a more decisive decision. Like I was just picking up like a lot more mistakes than normal. Like I'm like, dang, does football normally look like this? Like watching it, getting to watch a lot of football, you really see like what goes wrong and like just the small things that could change the game. And I think that might really help when like coming into this season, just picking up on the smaller things that change the game that people really don't see or notice that much.
Who do you like to watch as a running back in either college or NFL? Do you have like a set like 3 or 4 running backs that you like? Hey man, like I'm gonna watch some YouTube of whoever. Is there a certain running back, or do you have a running back that you kind of can relate to in the NFL that you think you almost not necessarily model your game, but you have similar games after?
Ezekiel Elliott, that's one of my favorite backs to watch every time the Cowboys play. I put his game film on and watch them. I like to watch Alvin Kamara, where he catches the ball at the backfield, just the way he moves. And Aaron Jones with the Packers. I always watch them when they play.
What's your favorite thing about Zeke? What's one thing that you've picking up and translating into your game with Zeke? Big, powerful back, just like you. If you picked up on stuff that he's done to help your game out?
I just feel like Zeke just does his job every play. Like he's getting that 3 to 5 yards. That's really all you need as a running back, just to keep yourself in front of the numbers and just keep ahead of the sticks for real. Like I just realized that as a back, sometimes the hole's not always going to be there. It's not always going to be the biggest hole to run through. So you just got to lower your pad level and get as many yards as possible sometimes.
I think that's an underrated part of a running back. Everyone talks about big plays. I think sometimes turning a negative 5-yard gain into a no yard gain, makes a huge difference for an offense. You're staying in front of the chains and whatnot. Instead of having you just get tackled in the 5-yard loss, you somehow wiggle your way around. You're able to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think that's an underrated part. I think for younger backs, I played running back all throughout, my sophomore year in high school. And I think that was like one thing that, at least when I got, freshman year in high school is like, hey, everything's not going to hit perfect, whatnot. Sometimes you're just going to have to, take what the defense is giving you and just, hey, plow 3-4 yards ahead and keep the chains moving and whatnot. I think that's very important. What do you like? Do you do any of? I've seen the Camaro workouts. What do you do any of those crazy balance workouts or whatnot when you're at home at the off season or anything like that?
Yeah, I be just mainly doing like I have a running back trainer that I go to. He's really good, so I do a lot of running back stuff with him, working on making fluid cuts in and out, and a lot of sand work with him. And then like I have a trainer that I go to that we do some balance stuff. I've tried to imitate some Kamar's workouts, but he does some crazy balance drills on the one leg on the bean bag and like on the
Balance ball,
the balance ball,
the yoga ball. That's kind of crazy. The
yeah.
fact that he's on one leg and being able to balance and be able to catch stuff. I think that's phenomenal. Is being so if you had one thing or a couple things that you had to give to younger running backs, or you had advice to give to younger running backs, what was a couple things that you would say that you saw when you were younger, maybe hurt you or maybe helped your game? What was any advice you'd give to any of those younger running backs? What's your best advice that you can tell them right now?
I would just say a couple of things like just know your role for the team. More importantly, before you even start like playing, just know that you're not always going to get the ball. You're not always going to have to make the big play. Sometimes you got to go chip somebody on the way out for a route. That's your big play for the day. Sometimes you have to stay in pass protection. Sometimes you have to run block. Sometimes you got to help out the quarterback on just picking up a blitz or something like that. That's just one of the things. Just don't get frustrated with the amount of carries you get, the amount of yards you get, because that's going to come over time. And just stay consistent with reading your keys, because like you said, everything's not a big play. Not everything's going to be a touchdown. Just stay patient, whether you're getting the ball or you're not. Like, just don't ever get frustrated, because when you start getting frustrated, you start forgetting about ball security. You start forgetting about who to look at when you're running, and then you start just gets worse.
So, so going back to being, you looking into being a first responder and whatnot. And let's say the NFL doesn't work out, whatever. Is there a specific place you're looking to, go back? You're looking to go back home, maybe a new location, you're looking to stay in the Albany area. Is there a certain location, or is that just kind of just too far, kind of just wherever life takes you?
I'm trying to go anywhere it does not snow, actually. Like, it doesn't matter where it is, if it doesn't snow. That's where I'm trying to be in good weather. And yeah, for real, that's what I'm trying to do.
Trying to stay out of the cold, Albany. That's weird. We just got the ice storm, whatever. That was some weird stuff going on. And then yesterday, like rain, snowed, whatever.
It was doing everything at practice.
I was like, we got all three. We got rain, sleet, snow, all in like 15 minutes, whatever.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you need that sunshine. Also, that Texas and Oklahoma and parts of Louisiana got smoked with also the like it was like 0 degrees there or something crazy this past couple days. So you looking at like Cali, Arizona, Texas, something like that.
Nice.
Be a good place for you. I feel like is Louisiana. They got some good food down there in Louisiana.
Yeah, I've never been to Louisiana, but that's definitely somewhere I'd like to go.
Hit up Kalen, see what he's down there. You should hit him up and be like, hey, what's it like down? what's it like? I've been there a couple times, not for very long, but I went to Shreveport for like a baseball tournament. Mm-hmm. It was like it was pretty cool. It's funny. It's actually like Rick Ross was staying in our hotel, and before you know it, like I got up in the middle of the night and you just hear all these sirens, and he got like arrested for like possession of cocaine or something at his birthday party or something at the hotel. It was kind of crazy. I was like, wow, man, it's like a high-ranking hotel here, man. We got Rick Ross having his birthday party at our hotel. It was kind of funny, but yeah, they had some good seafood. If you like some seafood, I mean, I figured from Baltimore, they got some good crab cakes. Good crab cakes up there. What did you think of Coach Davis calling? We had a play last year called Crab Cake. What's your thoughts on that nickname? I don't know. It's not really sticking, but
Nah, they just be trying to play too much. Sometimes they're crazy.
just coming up with anything at this point. Just coming up with anything at this point. You like crab cakes?
No, not really. Like I would definitely eat a couple. Like, but it's not one of my like favorite foods or none.
No, you got a favorite food? What's your favorite food?
I would say just anything like fried rice and chicken.
Fried rice and chicken.
Yeah.
What's you like?
Not that many good food places, I think, but
I just feel like Albany's like you go to a lot of places and there's like a lot of like really good local places. I feel like Albany is just kind of like
local places like that. Fiorillo's is good though. Like Fiorillo's is pretty good.
Yeah, of course. Nothing like the Great Dane at Fiorillo's there. So going back, what are your thoughts on the season coming up? Playing the 6 games. What are your thoughts on expectations? We're ranked in the top 25, whatnot. What are your expectations for the team and just the 6-game season? It's kind of a weird season, but what are your expectations for these 6 games?
Like as a team, I have like pretty high expectations for us because like why not? Like why can't it be us to go win the conference? Why can't it be us to go win the national championship? But like we just have to, how the CAA is. You just gotta take it really game by game. Like you just can't look ahead, can't look behind. Like when it's that week, you gotta really zero in and prepare for that team because every team is gonna be a battle. Every game we're gonna be in is gonna be a top 25 game. Like there's no from here and all these 6 games. There's no easy games. There's no cupcake games. Like there's no bye weeks. So we really gotta lock in. And I'm excited to see how the team gels together because we do have some key pieces at positions that can make a difference. And we do have a good squad coming back. So we just have to put it together.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It kind of sucks. We weren't able to, we're in camp right now, but it's not really a camp. I feel like, and we're on Zoom calls and whatnot. I feel like, I'm no majority of the guys, but I feel like that camp, that really brings everyone together and be sitting in those meetings, at night and be like, you're really able to create a bond, with your position group, if not just on the offensive side, eating with people, eat 3 meals a day, eating 3 times with people. It really sucks that this COVID bug hit because I feel like, even though camp really, your body's beat up and whatnot, I really enjoy just, being able to create those relationships, that, at least I've created relationships I'm going to have for a lifetime. I think that's really important for me is, not necessarily just get the opportunity to play football, but, I get to create relationships with people that I think will last a lifetime. I don't know what are your thoughts on, being able to get, it's really tough what do you think are your thoughts on gelling with the team? Is there, just practicing and it's really tough with the Zoom calls. What are your thoughts on ways to get the team gelling?
It's definitely been different this year, and it's been weird because there's really some guys on the team you do not see until practice. If that, there's some guys on the defense you will not see ever. Some people you don't even say what's up to, don't barely know their names. It's just weird, and it's just you only know the people that you either live on campus with. A lot of the on-campus guys know each other. Because they live in the same dorm, the same quad. I don't even live on campus, so there's a lot of people I don't even ever see, especially with the mask now. You don't even see people's faces until the roster I'm looking at. But just on the Zoom stuff, I guess just you have to get close to somebody through your meeting rooms. It's not even we have a lot of team Zooms where we're talking to each other. So it's definitely weird. Only way I can just say when you just see somebody on the field, say what's up to them, ask them their name if you don't know. Only way I can see guys getting closer to each other and really having that.
Yeah, I remember even just this past fall and being who's this guy? Who's I don't know. I was what the heck is and I try to get to know as many guys as I can. There's still a couple guys I think I've never seen before probably, and it's just just trying to get to know everyone. It's weird because then also you get to know the freshmen over the summertime, those 8 weeks that you kind of just get to talk to them and see how they're doing and help guide them and whatnot. I hate this COVID stuff, man. I want it to go away as fast as possible. I don't know what your thoughts are, man. This stuff this ain't for me, man. I want to I want to get back to normal life and being able to just being able to get in a room with like 5, 6, 7 guys and just like talk about stuff and just hang out. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Just stuff like that. So going back to football stuff is what are your thoughts on being ranked this what is it, the highest we've ever been ranked? And but also going off that is seeing Jawan and Jaron in the NFL now. I talked a little bit about it on my last podcast. Was what do you think? Are you trying to create a path just like those guys are for because you see like these Alabamas and SEC schools and even like Big Ten schools able to create a path to the NFL? Is that something you're trying to create or something like that where because we haven't had a lot of guys make it to the NFL or whatnot? Is that something you're trying to do, or at least just build a program around you?
Yeah, seeing them go to the league it was definitely like inspirational. Like both of those guys, like even Eli with the CFL right now, like they both, like all three of them, like they worked hard when they were here. Like they produced on the field for us. Like they were great people for us, and it's just like seeing that. It's like like trying to be the next one of those, and like a couple guys in our class. Hopefully, like we can all make it, get a shot, and just I always thought like I wanted to leave Albany better than what I came in and what it was, and like I feel like I'm on that path to doing that right now. Like, and just doing that would just help the Jeff, Dev, the guys under me just get more exposure, like bring more of that attention to the school, and just doing that'd mean a lot to me.
I think you hit it right on the head. Is I think you've been able to, ever since you came, is been able to create a program that is going to have a winning culture. I think probably when you came in, it wasn't necessarily the same thing. It was kind of just, we're okay with winning 4 or 5 games a season, But finally seeing that success, was that a big relief for you? Is seeing all that hard work that you worked in, being a leader on the team, whatnot. Were you winning those games? Were you really excited to see kind of kind of like getting the monkey off the back and be like, man, I'm finally breaking through or whatnot? Were you really excited about that?
Definitely. Like I felt like that was really like reliefful, because it's like you just see all the hours that people really don't see. We put in all the hours in the weight room, all the film sessions, all the walkthroughs, everything we do, all the running, conditioning. It's like putting that effort in and going 4-7 and going 3-8. It's like, dang, what am I even doing this for? But putting that effort in, going 9-4, second round in the playoffs, is like, yeah, like I'm doing this for a reason. And like just all that hard work before we did that wasn't unnoticed. Like that was really like a great experience.
What was it like, playing in the playoffs, especially hosting a home game? What did you think of that, and what did you think of also Montana State? I remember that first play. What were your thoughts on the home game and Montana State?
The home game, playoff game, like everybody, you see it in the video, everybody was excited because we was like, we can't lose at home. Like that's not something we do. That's not something we like doing. We said somebody come to the Bob, like we got to protect the house.
Exactly.
So that was definitely lit. That was a good feeling having that, and then really just putting it all on the field, really beat them well. So, and they was talking a lot of stuff before the game, a lot of stuff on social media. So just beating them was good. And then the Montana State game, we're going in there optimistic. Like we were just going in there. That was a good experience for us. I feel like as a team, we needed that. We needed to, that was like a step with the shoulders that like we're there, but like now we got to prove that every week. Like that's a different level of football that you play when you start playing those teams that are really like traditionally always in them type of playoff games. So like that was just a good experience for us. Like we came out there to open and drive. It was good. Got the ball in the first play. It was exciting. It's like, dang, we can play with these guys, and we show Spurs that we can. But like now we just got to really just bring that every week.
Yeah, is that the farthest west you ever been out?
Definitely the farthest.
What was besides Montana?
Besides that, before that, it was probably like Atlanta, Georgia. Like that was probably the furthest I've been over that way.
What did you? So was that the first time seeing mountains and stuff like that, or
Yeah, I've been like the mountains I passed, like
yeah, like
driving up to school.
yeah.
Like that was the closest I've ever been to the mountains.
What do you think? What was it? What were your thoughts on? It's a different atmosphere as well. Is out west? What were your thoughts just the short time you were there?
The scenery was great. Like it was, but that's not something I can see every
No.
day. I don't know. Like it is a little bit like movie type scene, like scary movie vibes, but it was a nice scenery. But that's not somewhere I want to be by myself or like
No,
without.
if you like the scenery, then maybe you should go to like talk to Mackay or Dom out there in Southern Cal where they got the mountains. They're really right there. Or Phoenix. Phoenix has got the mountains, really the Camelback Mountains right outside there. So that's another warm mountainous place.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet to go to. Only thing it is about down there, they got the rattlesnakes down there.
Yeah, all sorts of animals,
all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, but I love playing out in Montana State. I love because my grandparents live about 3.5 hours away from Bozeman, so it was kind of nice. I had a bunch of family that never really get to see me play. They only get to see me like once in a blue moon to play football, so it was nice to go out there. Hopefully, we can go out there again. And I saw next year we're playing North Dakota State, so that'll be fun going out there playing North Dakota State. But yeah, I'm hopefully we get more games and go deeper in the playoffs and play more games out west. That'd be really fun to go do. I think there's a lot of fun places out there, and people need to see them. It's kind of people stay on the East Coast, and there's still a lot of stuff to do on the East Coast, a lot of history, but there's definitely a lot missing out going on the West Coast. I think I've been around the country a couple times, so I've known a little bit. So last thing, Karl, is so you leaving your legacy here is, I know we hit on it a little bit, but any incoming freshmen, what's your advice? At least coming to you that are coming to Ualbany. What's your being a leader? Being one of the staple leaders of the team. What's your advice of them coming in as a freshman? What's your thoughts, and what's your best advice that you can give them?
My best advice is just like the class that you're coming in with, just be close with your class. Like those are the guys that you're gonna be doing everything with school wise. You're gonna be going out to parties with them. You're gonna be living in the dorms with them, on the field together. Like those, like be connected with them. Like you need a good support system around you coming into college, because a lot of people like you see going the wrong track. A lot of people start hanging out with other people, but get that strong support group within you, like within your class, and then like just move on from there. Like hold each other accountable. Somebody's in the wrong, let them know. Somebody needs help, let them know that they you're there for them. Basically, like just get that strong support group, and then you guys figure it out from there.
All right, last thing here before we wrap things up is, what has been you got to pick one thing. What's been your favorite thing so far being here at Ualbany? Like what's your one favorite moment, whether it's, I'll give you one. Give one on the field and one just classroom or just hanging out with friends. What's been your favorite moments here so far?
I would say my favorite on the field moment might have been the Stony Brook victory my sophomore year. Yeah, that was probably my favorite moment.
A little crossbar hit.
Yeah, the crossbar field goal. And then my favorite moment off the field, there's been a lot of good moments like off the field. Like it's just been a lot of exciting stuff. But I would say watching the selection Sunday, because that's just something that like I see, like growing up, I see people do that on TV. Like I see people going to wait to see who they're playing and like March Madness and stuff. And like that happened to us, and that's like I feel like that was a good experience.
Yeah, what's one thing you're gonna miss the most? About Albany, just Albany in general, not necessarily. It could be the people, the teammates, whatever. What's one thing you're gonna miss about Albany when you leave here? You think?
One thing I'm gonna miss is just like the family aspect of it. Like everybody here is like a small family. Just like you see the same people every day. Like just how comfortable you are in like this environment. And I feel like over the years you've gotten a lot of support from like people on campus, the staff, administration. Like just the support, just knowing that it feels like people care about you. Like when you're here, I feel like that's what I miss the most.
All right. Thanks, Carl, for coming on. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come talk to me. Some really interesting stuff about Carl. Hope you guys, if you didn't know about it, you know now. But like I said, thanks, Carl. I will on the YouTube. I will put his Twitter, Instagram in the description. But also, we're on Apple Podcasts now, Spotify, YouTube, and so check us out, subscribe, and hopefully we'll post this soon, and then we'll have our next guest for next week. So thanks again, Carl, for coming on.
Appreciate it.
All right.